Then I heard him take some unapproving breaths, and I heard some other weird noises. I had no idea what the heck he was doing. Then he asked me, "Is this a union job?" Oh man, are you ready to see if John Cleese's agent was a total douche? Well, if you've read the title of this episode, you probably have a pretty good idea, but let's dig into it. First, as a quick recap, I wrote a short comedy based on my life. I went right to the top of my list, and I asked John Cleese if he would narrate it. He read the story, liked it, and agreed to participate. It was incredibly exciting. We were making the final arrangements to travel, and then John's Hollywood agent got involved. I had heard stories of agents being incredibly annoying and plain awful to work with, but I didn't have any direct experience. And I've also thoroughly studied human behavior and social psychology, and I work very hard not to fall into any of the thinking errors that are so prevalent in society. Because of that, I know better than to believe any stereotype about any group. But agents like Jim, John Cleese's agent at the time, are the very reasons why I've heard horror stories. But it turns out he was even way more of a tool than I ever could have imagined. He exceeded the stereotypes. I'll try to do my best here to give you both a summarized depiction of my point of view of the call, as well as a more detailed one. Here's the overview. "Hello, rat trash. I'm a big Hollywood agent for very important famous people. You are worthless and have never done anything worthwhile. I wouldn't even hire you to shine my shoes or clean my toilet. John Cleese would never work with you. Get real. Goodbye." Here's the more detailed one, the best that I can remember. "Hello, I'm Wesly. I'm calling you back about a project I'm working on with John Cleese." Then the agent. "Right." And I could hear some papers moving around in the background. And then he says, "So what is this?" At this point, I'm super confused at his question. The PA had already given him detailed emails that included the script, who I was, and anything this guy would need to know about the project. So I said, "It's a short film?" Silence. And then there was some more silence. And there was some more silence. And then I continued, "It's a short film that we'll be submitting to some film festivals." Then I heard him take some unapproving breaths, and I heard some other weird noises. I had no idea what the heck he was doing. Then he asked me, "Is this a union job?" I responded, "No, not at the moment. It's just an indie film." To which he responded, "John Cleese is not going to do this." I responded, "Well, he already agreed to do this 5 months ago. We've just been trying to work with his schedule. John's PA," and he butts in, "I am his agent. I don't care what his PA said." He asked some other questions that made me feel like garbage, and then somehow got to this. "John never read your script. He will not be involved in a project like this. Goodbye." Well, that went well. If well means it sucked rocks covered in ferret crap, I can't convey his tone other than to say, think of someone who has spoken to you in the most condescending manner you've ever experienced. This was Jim. Maybe he's actually a nice bloke, but I can't imagine he talks to his super important famous clients the way that he addressed me, or he wouldn't have a job. As you can imagine, I was crushed. Another creative dream slips out of my fingers, and I become Lord of Almosterland again. After the disappointment wore off a bit, I had to follow up with Billy and tell him about the conversation. Billy had been really awesome to work with, and I needed to know if this really meant it was all over. My email. "Billy, I just had a very disappointing call with Jim from the CAA. He basically informed me that it's not going to happen. He said that John has not read the script and this is not something he would do. We've been waiting and pushing out schedules, and we've been working hard on this project based on the confirmation we received that John would do it. I'm really shocked with the conversation I had with Jim, and I really hope what he's saying isn't true. Can we work outside of the CAA on this? Please let me know what we can do to make this work. Without John's involvement, a huge amount of time and money will be wasted that we've put into this. Thank you." And then Billy's response. "It's true that not for want of trying, CAA has become involved late. However, just a day ago, John read the script again, and I believe he's still planning to proceed. I'm meeting with John on Sunday, so I'll try and sort. Hang on for my response. Sorry about the confusion. Best regards, Billy." Then my response back. "Okay, thanks. Jim kept saying things like, 'Well, I'm John's agent, not Billy.' I think he's going to try and convince John not to do it. I understand that it's an independent film, and I know how big of a celebrity John is. It was just a really frustrating discussion because I figured getting Jim involved was just a technicality. I feel that we've received an agreement from you and John, and we've been happy to wait. So having Jim come in and tell me to forget it was Pretty annoying after all this time. We've made it clear from the beginning that it was an indie film. Anyway, forgive me for venting a little. Please let me know how the discussions go. Thanks. A couple days go by and I reach back out. Billy, were you able to have a conversation with John on Sunday? Either way, we'd like to know how it's looking so we can start making other plans if necessary. Thank you for all your help over these past months. And Billy's response. Wes, John has agreed to proceed. However, because of his very tight schedule, he insists on spending the least time. He's not prepared to travel to Soho for the recording, adding a couple hours of travel. This means that the Sloane Square Hotel option has to be considered. You mentioned this was difficult, but can you handle it? My apologies for the long, protracted process to get this far. Yes! Yes! Now this roller coaster was fun, awesome, and in my favor again. I was deeply honored that John would continue the project despite his agent's reactions. I felt like we were sticking it to the man. We're not conforming to the system. We're rebels, man. Rebels. We're sticking it to the gym. And then my response, Billy, great news. Thank you. That's no problem at all. What date is best for John? We have all the audio equipment and everything we need already. We just have to get our flights lined up and we'll be good to go. Thanks. Wes, Monday the 15th of April at 11:30 a.m. at the Sloane Square Hotel. Please send a copy of the contract ASAP. Billy, please see the attached agreement. We will book flights and we look forward to coming out. Thank you. Some more time passes and we bought a whole bunch more stuff because we realized we actually didn't have everything we needed to record John professionally since we were going to be doing it at a hotel and not at a studio. Billy sent over a few revisions to the contract, which were fine. We made them and we got the document back. And that, my friends, is it for part 4 of the John Cleese saga. Turn in next time for the big old finale. Thanks for listening, for watching, for subscribing, for checking out Patreon. You can be my king or queen or something in between. Help support this and all of my creative work as a musician and a writer. Thanks so much. I will thrive.